When we talk about dominance in the world of bodybuilding, there's one name that stands out above the rest: Ronnie Coleman. This guy wasn't just winning, he was rewriting the game and setting a new standard. He walked away with 8 Mr. Olympia titles. 8. He took the bodybuilding world to the next level and became a legend. Let's not get it twisted. Ronnie's road to greatness wasn't smooth. His whole journey was pure grit, non-stop hustle, and a relentless grind. This isn't a story about some ordinary man lifting weights. It's a breakdown on the legendary status that is achievable when you're willing to push beyond your limits, keep your eyes on the prize, and refuse to never give up. In today's episode, we will dive into the life of a true champion. From humble beginnings to becoming a global icon, we'll see how Ronnie Coleman took over bodybuilding and changed the game. Let's get into it. Ronnie's childhood was all about the grind. My mum, Jessie, was a hard-working woman. She was only 16 years old when I was born. Watching my mum work hard to support her family inspired me to also work hard and achieve my dreams in life. That work ethic wasn't just something he saw, it became a part of who he was. Seeing this kind of drive gave him his hustling spirit. He noticed how hard his mother worked for him to be able to fully enjoy his childhood. The lesson was learned early. Anything you want in this life, you have to go get it. She was smart, disciplined, and determined that she stretched the money or worked harder to give us the school, housing, clothes, and everything we could possibly want. His whole town was like that. Everyone looked out for one another, and discipline was just a part of life. No excuses, no cutting corners. Everyone was friendly, helped each other, and worked for the common good of the community. He learned discipline from everyone around him: his mum, the neighbours, even his teachers. Ronnie wasn't just raised by his mum, he was raised by the whole community, and that sense of responsibility and accountability, I guess we can kind of say, stayed with him. You know the saying, it takes a village to raise a child. All that discipline and work ethic Ronnie saw day to day, it started to motivate him to the point where he decided he wanted to work and help out financially. He wanted to make his own money. At a very early age, he got his first job at a general store, where he was paid a modest wage. The excitement of earning his own money fueled his ambition to work harder and find better opportunities. This was the beginning of a hustler, constantly seeking ways to improve his situation and make more money. I loved going to work. I loved doing the job, earning my own money. Early discipline not only paved the way for success I would later have in life, but it also helped me appreciate the value of work. This tells me how important environment is. Ronnie was surrounded by hard work, so much so it looked fun. He searched for it. What kind of environment are you in, or are you surrounded by? Do the people you surround yourself with display habits that propel you to want to be better, improve? It's key for consistent growth and development. You can't be talking about wanting to improve and develop, but the people around you aren't doing anything productive. Who you surround yourself with is pivotal in how you think and how you behave. When Ronnie hit his teenage years, he started taking on tougher jobs. The hardest of them was chopping cotton. Spending long hours in the Louisiana hot sun helped him build physical strength but also mental toughness. These experiences shaped Ronnie's ability to work through discomfort and build endurance, traits that would later become instrumental in his bodybuilding career. By the time I became a teenager, I realized that there was a ton of other things I could do that could pay even better. I was now stronger and bigger. The first job I got was chopping cotton, and I gotta tell you, it was the hardest job I've ever had. I sincerely think that it was this mentality which allowed me to train so incredibly hard and be extremely disciplined when it came to bodybuilding. Building mental toughness and resilience is a must if you want to win and do so at a high level. David Goggins constantly puts himself in extreme challenges to overcome adversity and build that mental toughness. His book is filled with painful experiences overcoming ultra marathons and the world record pull-up attempts. What do you put yourself through to build that mental toughness? And is it enough? I ask, is it enough, because only you know if you have the capacity to push yourself even more. These are questions you have to ask yourself if you want to go to the next level. Ronnie might have come from humble beginnings, but it's clear that those early days set the foundation for his mentality. That drive to work hard and appreciate what you've got, that's what made him tough enough to face anything that came his way. The grind, the resilience, the focus. He picked all that up from his family and the community. Before he was out there dominating the world stage, he was just a kid from a small town, learning what it means to stay hungry and never give up. Let's fast forward to his college days. Ronnie played as a middle linebacker at Grambling State University under legendary coach Eddie Robinson. Playing under him was a big deal, and Ronnie had big dreams of making it to the NFL. I was strong, I was fast. I wasn't as tall as some of the other linemen. I was only 5'11". This made me very hard to push. In Division 1 football, making the team as a walk-on is a tough thing to do, and reaching the first string is almost impossible. Yet, as always, my hard work paid off. I worked so hard that I outplayed guys who had received scholarships. But life has a funny way of throwing twists and turns. Ronnie suffered a severe injury that put an end to his football aspirations. That was the beginning of the end of my football career, but I wasn't about to give up. Just like that, it's taken away. That's a tough pill to swallow. But Ronnie, being Ronnie, he wasn't one to sit around and feel sorry for himself. He shifted his focus to his schoolwork. After initially majoring in management, he was advised by a professor to switch to accounting, which offered better financial opportunities. When Ronnie realized that his football dream wasn't going to materialize, the future millions that the NFL was promising wasn't happening, he needed an alternative, and he needed one that will make him money. You need to switch to accounting. You are really, really good at it. And I guarantee that if you switch, you'll make a lot more money as an accountant. This change required extra effort, including summer classes, to prepare him for a successful career after graduation, earning a degree in accounting. I studied for 4 hours a day reading and doing my homework. I enrolled in summer courses, took the necessary accounting classes, and graduated right on time. The theme and early roots of Ronnie Coleman's life are very evident in his story, especially in the early stages of his life, which is hard work. So here he is, degree in hand, ready to take on the world, but then comes another obstacle, finding a job. And let's be real, we've all been there. Sending out CVs, going to interviews, hoping someone gives you a shot, and Ronnie was no different. I went to every single interview with the greatest disposition and determination to get the job. However, I heard over and over again, every interview felt like another door was shutting in his face. Employers kept telling him he lacked the experience they were looking for. It's that classic catch-22. You need experience to get a job, but you need a job to get experience. Her tone turned serious and my heart stopped. It doesn't say you have any experience at all working as an accountant. I was very disappointed. I was sure I was going to get the job, but she was right. I had no experience. This is something a lot of us can relate to, the frustration of trying to break into an industry that seems to have no room for newcomers. But Ronnie didn't let that stop him. He took a job at Domino's Pizza to make ends meet. At this point, any job will do. I needed to do something immediately, so I took a nearby Domino's Pizza job. Now, shortly after he made the decision to join the police force, another tough experience, but one that gave him stability. I wasn't sure about being an officer because I didn't want to be killed or shot at, but my finances were so bad that I had no choice. Being a cop meant stability, just above survival. Sounded a lot better than Domino's. Ronnie faced numerous challenges during the application process, including failing an aptitude test by just 1 point and having to reapply several times. I only mention this because, as we're starting to see with Ronnie, doesn't know how to give up or move on. I failed the test by a single point. I had to get a 43 and I got 42. I didn't want to quit after that, so I decided to ask for another shot. Eventually, Ronnie was a full-fledged police officer. However, fate is an interesting thing we can never plan or calculate. One day, while working as a police officer, he crossed paths with a guy named John Morgan, another cop who saw potential in Ronnie and suggested he check out Metroflex Gym, which was owned by Brian Dobson. Now, up until this point, Ronnie's interest in the gym was purely fun. He had an eagerness and enthusiasm about the gym. During his high school years, he was introduced to the gym before he joined a powerlifting team in high school. I was deadlifting 800 pounds for reps, squatting 800 pounds for reps. Soon enough, the coach let me in with a big smile. I guess he saw my potential. However, this was purely a hobby. There was no intent other than just having fun. At first, John Morgan's request for Ronnie to join Metroflex Gym didn't sit well with him. Why pay for a gym membership when he could work out for free at the police station? And let's be real, Ronnie was a tight man, always trying to save money. The man wasn't about to drop any money on a membership. I wasn't going to pay for any gym, but John persisted, and eventually Ronnie thought, why not? Sometimes it's those unexpected opportunities that lead to the biggest changes. Brian asked me to come in for 1 day and said, if you don't like it, you don't have to go back. There are times in our lives where people see something we don't see in ourselves. When people highlight this, take it seriously. You never know what door it could lead to or what opportunities it could present. So Ronnie walks into Metroflex Gym and immediately something clicks. The place was nothing like a commercial gym. It was hard, gritty, raw, exactly the kind of environment that Ronnie needed to push himself beyond his limits. This is my place of paradise, my cloud 9, my heaven, and my happy place. That first workout with Brian Dobson was intense. Brian saw something in Ronnie, raw strength, untapped potential. Offering to train him for free if Ronnie agreed to compete in the upcoming Mr. Texas bodybuilding competition, Brian told me, you've got the strength, the muscle, the genetics. Let me train you and you'll become a professional. Now, Ronnie accepted the challenge, mainly because everything was free. The training was next level, far beyond anything he had done before. But Ronnie was all in. He followed Brian's guidance to the letter. I had never trained this hard before in my life. I was doing everything Brian said to the letter. As expected, Ronnie took first place, marking the beginning of an incredible bodybuilding journey. I won Mr. Texas, and that was the biggest smile of my life. But more importantly, Ronnie found his calling. Sometimes the path we plan for ourselves isn't the one we're meant to walk. Ronnie's dreams of the NFL didn't pan out. The accounting career didn't take off. But by staying open to new experiences, even ones that weren't part of the original plan, he discovered his true passion. Keep your eyes open. Many great things can happen in your life if you're aware. Let's think about that. How many times have we faced setbacks or felt we've lost opportunities or things didn't go quite according to plan? Ronnie's story reminds us that sometimes these detours, they can lead to the opportunities that would open doors that we never imagined. It's just about staying resilient, being open to new opportunities, and taking that leap of faith when the moment presents itself. He's just won Mr. Texas, and he's got a taste of victory, and he's hungry for more. He's found his lane, bodybuilding. But this is where the real grind begins. The road to the top is never smooth. Mr. Olympia wasn't about to be handed to him on a plate. Ronnie would face years of hard work, losses, and frustration. And here's the thing, he didn't just have bodybuilding on his plate. He was still a full-time police officer, balancing work shifts with brutal training sessions. And anyone who's seen his training sessions will know how brutal those training sessions looked. It wasn't easy balancing both. I'd finish my shift and immediately head to the gym to train for hours. Now this is what I enjoy about reading these stories, these athlete stories or coaches' stories. They give me insights and great lessons on what it takes to be legendary. The sacrifices they endure, but also how we can transfer it to our own lives. I suspect most people watching this are probably like me. They want to have an impact. But it's a journey, and that journey means we have to juggle multiple things at the same time whilst we make headway. Doing what we have to do till we can do what we want to do. Ronnie was balancing both work and bodybuilding. He had to work hard till the bodybuilding door was busted wide open. With all the effort, the early competitions weren't always in Ronnie's favour. He wasn't just walking into bodybuilding shows and picking up trophies. He faced some tough losses. The thing about bodybuilding is, you've got to be more than just muscular and big. You've got to be symmetrical and in proportion along with the size. Those judges were looking for everything. Losing is an important part of the process. Ronnie took those L's and was watching how the top pros like Flex Wheeler and Kevin Levrone, he was watching how they were moving. He studied their every move, how they posed, how they trained. He knew if he was going to beat them, he had to step his game up. Best way to become the best was to observe the best. So that's exactly what he did. He became a student of the game, taking mental notes, improving after every show. Not qualifying in '93 for Mr. Olympia was a blessing in disguise for me because it inspired me to train harder and work on each and every weak point. This bodybuilding game isn't easy. All the dieting and training not to qualify. The work ethic was always evident. Every time he didn't make it, he trained harder, got leaner, built more muscle, kept pushing. Now, things started to take a turn in '98. After years of near misses and close calls, Ronnie finally stepped onto the Mr. Olympia stage ready to take what was his. With all his hard work, nobody considered Ronnie a threat to win. No one was betting on him to win. All the attention was on bigger names, the favourites. Flex Wheeler, he was the golden boy that year. Everyone thought it was his title to lose. Kevin looked more massive than ever. Sean looked like a statue made by the hands of the gods. Nasser carried a chip on his shoulder due to his defeat the year before. And Flex, he looked better than he ever had. Ronnie wasn't paying attention to the noise, to the hype, all the doubters. He was just focused on his own journey. All the hard work, all those long hours in the gym, all the losses, it was coming. Ronnie Coleman, the underdog, shocked the world and walked away with the Mr. Olympia in '98. That's the moment it all came together. All the pain and the hard work, finally rewarded, and I wasn't about to give up. The proof we needed, another example that if one is willing to persevere, stick it out, even though uncountable losses, through the consistency, always showing up with the faith that one day your fortune will change, that door will open. This will be the start of a takeover. Ronnie went on to win Mr. Olympia 8 times, putting him in the history books to be tied with Lee Haney. He built a physique that has never been rivaled, took the meaning of mass monster to a whole new level. He took his body to places very few were willing to go. I had to work extra hard to prove one more time that I was the best. No problem for me. Always hungry, always pushing for more. And here's something we can all learn from. No matter how many times life tries to knock you down, it's about how many times you get back up and come back stronger. So here's the takeaway. Ronnie's journey to Mr. Olympia wasn't easy. He had to deal with losses, setbacks, working a full-time job while trying to make it in a world where only the strongest survive. But it's his resilience, his ability to learn from every failure, and his insane work ethic that pushed him to the top. He didn't just step onto the stage and win, he earned it day by day, loss by loss, rep by rep. That's a mentality we can all learn from. Keep grinding, keep moving, and eventually our time will come. The beginning of dominance. The competition was no joke. Flex Wheeler, Kevin Levrone, Sean Ray, these guys weren't just competitors, they were legends in their own right. And Flex, before the gift Phil Heath, people talked about Flex Wheeler as having a mixture of everything to be great. Great genetics and amazing symmetry. Ronnie had already bagged wins at the Night of Champions and the Toronto Pro earlier that year, so his confidence was building. Ronnie had been through enough setbacks in life to know that nothing was guaranteed, regardless of his wins. I had already qualified to compete at the Mr. Olympia the year before, so I didn't really need to do any more shows, but I realized that the more I competed, the better my odds of winning the Olympia were going to be. So he kept going, kept pushing. It's that mentality, staying hungry. Even though everyone was talking about Flex Wheeler like he had it in the bag, when he was quietly doing his work, building. It wasn't just a win, it was the moment where everything, every setback, every grind, every late night workout paid off. Ronnie had done it. He was the king. Everything I had ever done with my life had been a prelude to that moment in Madison Square Garden. Winning Mr. Olympia wasn't the end game for Ronnie. Some people win once and call it. This is why I put Ronnie, Phil Heath in that Jordan, Ronaldo, Messi camp of greatness. There's winning, which most people are extremely happy with, and there is dominating, trying to be the best. They live to be the best at whatever they do. He wasn't satisfied with one win. He wanted to dominate. He will take home the Sandor Trophy, winning 8 times in 8 consecutive years. That's what makes him legendary. I didn't stop after winning one title. I wanted to become the best bodybuilder of all time. So, how did Ronnie keep that fire burning? How did he not fall into the trap of thinking, I've done it, I can relax? He never let himself get comfortable. That's where most people slip. They think reaching the top is the end, but for Ronnie, it was just another checkpoint. Whenever someone gets too comfortable, they stop training as hard as they did when they were hungry. That hunger, that's what set Ronnie apart. He knew that to stay on top, he had to keep grinding, like he was trying to get his very first one. He was scared of complacency. Every year he came back better, stronger, and hungrier. I had to work extra hard to prove one more time I was the best. No problem for me. And that's what makes Ronnie's reign so special. This is the mentality you see with greats. They need more. The mindset, the discipline, the relentless drive to keep pushing. Staying humble and staying hungry is one of the most important requirements for being successful in life, no matter what profession and goals you have. Ronnie Coleman wasn't just a champion, he was a force. And for 8 straight years, he showed the world what it looked like to be unbeatable. But what made him truly special? He kept working like he had something to prove. Ronnie's journey to becoming Mr. Olympia was about mental toughness, resilience, and staying hungry even after reaching the top. His victory in '98 marked the beginning of his dominance, but it was his mindset, his mentality, his refusal to get comfortable that kept him at the top. He didn't just win, he owned the sport. And his legacy shows us that dominance is the ability to get to the top and stay there. Now, we all love a good success story, but no one reaches the top without taking some serious hits along the way. There's always a price to pay for greatness. His reign as the king of bodybuilding didn't come without a cost. In fact, behind the muscles and the trophies, there was a lot of pain. By 2006, Ronnie was trying to go for his 9th Mr. Olympia title. He wanted to cement his place in history and surpass Lee Haney. But here's the thing, even the greatest champions eventually face their toughest challenges. And as they say in sport all the time, you can't beat Father Time. And in the case of Ronnie, he would have been 42 attempting to win his 9th Mr. Olympia title. I felt that all I needed to do was walk in, pose like I had done for the last 8 years, and win once again. It was really as simple as that. That year, Ronnie faced some serious competition. Jay had been grinding for years, and in '06, it was his time to shine. It felt good to see Jay and his victory. God knows he deserved to win at some point, and I'm glad that he eventually did. Ronnie had been battling back injuries for years, and it wasn't just a little pain here and there. This was the kind of pain that could sideline you for good. And it had been brewing ever since he was a teenager, lifting heavy weights, being involved in powerlifting competitions. When I was 17 years old in high school, I had a powerlifting competition where I hurt my back. Ronnie's back problems became a constant struggle. It wasn't just dealing with some soreness. This was heavy pain. Over time, It got so bad he had to undergo multiple surgeries just to keep his day-to-day routine and being able to walk around and just live like a normal man. Despite the surgeries, despite everything, Ronnie kept pushing forward, kept going. But this is the price for greatness. The Jordan flu game, which we later found out to be food poisoning. We've heard Kobe Bryant play through a torn Achilles, a broken finger, to the point at which he had to alter his shooting mechanics. These greats have a hard time listening to their bodies. Why? Because nothing can get in the way of achieving absolute greatness. I didn't listen to the doctors or my body. I continued in the powerlifting and football teams, working my arse off to become the best. Despite all of that, Ronnie doesn't regret a single moment. That's what separates champions from the rest. They don't cry about the sacrifices, they embrace them. For Ronnie, every rep, every injury, every surgery was part of the price he had to pay for greatness. I don't regret anything I did in my bodybuilding career, no matter how much my back hurt. And this is where you have to admire the man's resilience, his status in the game. You have to just admire what it took to get here. Even today, after all the surgeries, Ronnie still believes he will regain his strength and improve his health. He's not one to sit around and feel sorry for himself. That fighter spirit is still there, and he's determined to get back on his feet. Ronnie's story teaches us that success comes with sacrifice. There's a price to pay, sometimes way more than we bargain for. But it also shows us that a winning mentality can carry you through even the toughest of times. Injuries may have slowed him down, but they never stopped him. And today, with all he's been through, he's still pushing forward. That's what being a true champion is all about. Despite everything, I didn't regret a thing. My mentality is to keep going. No matter what life throws at you, keep pushing. Whether you're at the top or fighting to get back up, the grind never stops. And Ronnie is proof that nothing can break a true warrior spirit. We've seen Ronnie go from humble beginnings to dominating bodybuilding, battling injuries like an absolute warrior. But his story doesn't end there. It would be disrespectful to paint Ronnie as this hard-working man who got to the mountaintop and then injuries left him as a shadow of himself. We have seen hard work is all he knows. He took that hustle and that grind mentality and put that into his own supplement company, the Ronnie Coleman Signature Series. And just like bodybuilding, he went all in. Ronnie wasn't trying to slap his name on products and hope for the best. He would use all his knowledge about fitness, nutrition, and the intensity of training to create a business and a brand people could identify with. The most successful people in history have achieved their greatest victories when they were already victorious. And the only reason why this happened was because they stayed hungry. Ronnie launched his brand with pre-workouts, supplements, and more. Like anything, especially business, it wasn't easy. The supplement game is tough, it's difficult. Every brand out there claims to be the best, but Ronnie wasn't trying to compete. Whatever he does, he's trying to be the best, just like he did on stage. We launched a pre-workout product and a sleep product. I felt we had the highest chance of success with these. When Ronnie first dropped his product at the Arnold Classic Expo in Madrid, it flew off the shelves. People knew his name and they knew Ronnie was credible. If he puts his stamp on something, it's the real deal. Our product was a hit. We sold the entire stock and more people were coming in. I couldn't believe it. From there, the Ronnie Coleman Signature Series blew. He was moving products all over. Europe, South America, Asia. Ronnie's reach was global. He took the same mentality that made him a champ and applied it to his business. Hard work, consistency, no shortcuts. Just like the gym, he applied all the same principles. We expanded to South America, especially in Brazil and Colombia, where a whole bodybuilding movement was well underway. For Ronnie, his legacy isn't just about the wins on stage or the business moves. It's about the impact he's had on people's lives. He wants to be remembered, not just as the guy with the biggest biceps or the biggest back, but someone who pushed others to become the best version of themselves. I want to inspire you to improve your life, to believe in yourself, to set goals and accomplish them. Ronnie has taught us that success doesn't stop when you reach the top. It's about what you do after. Whether it's building a business, raising a family, doing a community project, it doesn't matter. Ronnie stayed true to who he was and who he is. He's kept that same hunger, that same fire, and he's used it to inspire others to push themselves past their own limits. His legacy is one of hard work, humility, and lifting others up. More than anything, this is what I want my inheritance to be for everybody in the world. No matter how high you climb, there's always more to achieve. The grind never stops, not in life. As we come to the end of Ronnie Coleman's story, there's one undeniable truth that stands out. Greatness is not just about talent or victories, it's about your mentality. Ronnie Coleman's journey from humble beginnings in Louisiana to the pinnacle of bodybuilding and then as a successful entrepreneur shows us that the key to true success lies in resilience, relentless work ethic, and staying hungry for more no matter what you've already achieved. Whether he was lifting weights in the gym, overcoming injury and pain, or building a global business, Ronnie never lost sight of the values that got him to the top: hard work, discipline, and the belief that there's always more to achieve. Ronnie Coleman's story reminds us that the road to greatness is long, full of setbacks and challenges. But if you stay hungry, keep pushing, and remain focused on your goals, you can reach the top in your own way, whether that's in business, fitness, or any other aspect of life. So what's the key takeaway? It's quite simple. Keep pushing. Whether you're at the start of your journey or already crushing it, don't stop. There's always more to achieve, more people to inspire, and more ways to grow. Ronnie Coleman is proof that with the right mindset, there's no limit to what you can do. Remember, whatever you're chasing, stay hungry, stay focused. And as Ronnie would say, ain't nothing to it but to do it.